What's up, Devils? J-Dog back with another goddamn fucking video. And today's video, we're going to be going over comments, questions, concerns, and would all the Metallica members dying on bus crash be King Pathali's perfect world? Didn't review shit, just pulled it up, knew that was the next video online. 794 piddly ass fucking views 3 weeks ago with 110 comments, so good amount of comments. So we'll see what kind of questions we got in here. But actually, speaking of this, because I'm recording this on this is June 5th, I'm recording this, and I'm seeing this deceased is playing with the accused here on June 21st. So I'll see King, because I'll definitely be at that. He's at no class, and hopefully I'll get something recorded. Maybe I'll ask him, bring this part up. What was the question? Yeah, all the members of Metallica died in the bus crash. Would that be like your dream come true? Maybe I'll slip that in there without looking like a complete fucking weirdo, right? So see, because I thought the next time I was seeing was deceased was at the Tommy's Redefining Darkness Fest. If you guys can go to that, go to that. It's a 2-day fest. I'm definitely going. Macabre's headlining one day, so fuck yeah for me. And then Deceased is headlining the other day. But yeah, Deceased is playing before that, and I just found that out a few weeks ago. So I'll be at fucking both. But July is the Redefining Darkness Fest. I highly recommend you guys go. J-Dog will be there both days, getting a fucking hotel up in that bitch too, so I don't have to drive back and forth. So if you're going, come on out and fucking hang out, and we'll talk some shit. Anyways, without any further fucking ado, let's see what the fuck we got questions-wise. Let me get some goddamn good ones. Because one thing is, I've been kind of skipping over more questions, because since I'm so behind, kind of somewhat to try to get caught up. And some of the questions just either like, hey, what do you think of this band? Never heard of them, so I really don't have much to say about it. And also, too, I noticed as, I guess the channel's growing, if you want to call it that, is newer people, they're literally asking some of the same questions. I'm like, I've literally answered this 3 or 4 times now. So it's kind of like, go back and watch the past videos, brah. So I am skipping over more, just so I could get to some, fresh new blood, especially more of an appreciation of the devils that watch every single fucking day, every video. So we're not talking about the same goddamn fucking shit. Layla over 9, question. Here's one. A little education for you guys. Question. I have heard the term micronutrients now a few times in your videos. Can you quickly explain what that means exactly? Yeah, micronutrients in food, like vitamins, just like that, is like vitamins and minerals that you take, is exactly that. Vitamins, minerals. You can even throw like antioxidants in there, free radical scavengers. I'd kind of throw them in that category too. But generally speaking, I'm referring to vitamins, minerals, because they're micronutrients. Macronutrients are what make up calories: protein, carbohydrates, and fats. There's only 3 macronutrients. And that's what makes up a calorie, the foods. But micronutrients in the foods, that's why when people think you need to take shitloads of vitamins and all this other stuff and every serving of vegetable to be optimal and healthy, it's like you realize you only need trace amounts of these things. That's why they're called micro, like very small. Macro, you need a lot of, you know what I mean? Like food, but bigger quantity. They're micronutrients. You don't need that much as you think. You definitely need them, and they're very, very important, but you don't need as many as you think. So now you know that's what micronutrients are. Macronutrients are the foods. Again, just another question on a band I never really listened to. Joe Dinkins asking me about Integrity. Like if I've heard them, yeah, I thought they're okay. It's not really they were never kind of like my thing, but it's a respectable hardcore band. I've definitely been at shows where they played and stuff. It's nothing for me, but they definitely have their place in the hardcore scene. You know what I mean? They're kind of like, I guess, hardcore legends in a sense. So they have their place. It just didn't do anything for me personally. James Mayan. Shout out to you, Braba. The name looks kind of familiar, so you may have commented before. Sup, J-Dog? If you were to rate all the extreme metal genres from least favorite to favorite, what would that list look like? Mine? So death metal be my favorite. Probably black metal then, or black metal or grindcore. It seems like, because when you take actually like grindcore, gore grind, put that kind of same category, I probably like about as equal amount of those bands as I do black metal. So put one or the other, vice versa. Then thrash metal, heavy metal, and leave it at that. Power metal at the very last, because I don't even, it's this day, I can't think of any power metal bands I like, although I'm sure there's something in there. Although I will say this, I guess it's a power metal release. I actually just went back and listened to it. Maybe it was even the first time I ever fucking listened to it, was Halloween's album, Keeper of the Seven Gates. I believe it was part 2. I don't think it was part 1 album. listened to it at the shop. I was like, this is pretty fucking good. I remember always Jim and Don be like, oh, that's the gay shit. Anything after Walls of Jericho. Walls of Jericho is actually, I love that record. Want to call that a thrash record? Like I was gonna say, like I don't really. Well, what about speed metal, jdog? I just kind of throw that in thrash. It's getting a little fucking difference. Like when you put on Exciter next to fucking like I don't know Whiplash, I'm kind of like it's pretty fucking similar. Like I mean, we don't need to make another sub goddamn genre just because they sound a little different. Well, what the fuck if it doesn't all sound the same? Now it needs a subgenre. I mean, that's like saying Van Halen isn't classic rock next to the Eagles or something. You know what I mean? I think they're both considered classic rock bands, but they don't sound anything alike, right? So that's kind of how I look at it. Like it's just that the speed metal title is a little fucking unneeded. It sounds cool, but it's just fucking thrash. That's the way I look at it. Otherwise, it's getting too goddamn complicated. Anyways, what the fuck was I talking about? What the fuck was I talking about? What band? Oh, Halloween. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, Jim and Don always were saying that anything after fucking Walls of Jericho is the gay shit. So I want to say I heard it, but maybe at the same time I didn't. But anyways, I was listening. I'm like, this is pretty fucking good. Like I think I'm gonna fucking buy this type of good. Would actually want to own this. Like this is, I'm thoroughly enjoying this on the first listen. So now I got to hear part one. So and that I would consider that like power metal. This guy Goatman's mentioning King Folly. What does he say? Now that you mentioned it, some dude is gonna go on a weekend bender ordering from HHB. Do you have any personal favorite King Folly moments? Yes. Just his mannerisms in general, shit he says is just funny. I told the story about the Metallica shirt. Oh man, if somebody walks in there with Ride the Lightning, you have the second gayest shirt on. When he said it to Daniel O'Leary, I believe, my son, at the fest because he was wearing a Metallica shirt. Oh man, you got the gayest shirt on in the building. I said, somebody comes in here with Ride the Lightning, you have the second gayest shirt on. He's never met this kid or I told that story. That was classic as fuck. The time he arm wrestled me, which I hate when people ask to arm wrestle me, and from here on out, I will always say no because I fucking got. It's really hard on this connective tissue, and my elbows are all fucking banged up and old, and it's just not risk. It's just too damn risky. So when everybody asks me to arm wrestle you, it's gonna be go fuck yourself, including Ian King. Because he actually might ask me that again too. I want a rematch, goddammit. He said, I'm not arm wrestling no more, man. Um, arm wrestled him like little shit. That was like 10 years ago. Um, First time I met him, just yeah, kind of he was just really funny and cool. Because I didn't know how he was going to be when I first met him was in 2000 for they were touring for the Supernatural Addiction album, and just I just thought he was a really cool, charismatic guy because like I said, I never met him and never seen. This is before YouTube and shit, so it's not like I've seen any like live interviews or anything with him, so didn't know what he was like personality wise. So that and just yeah, no other like I can't think of any other type of stories or favorite of mine, but just things he may have said or something. You know, I remember sitting at the bar with him, just shooting the shit at the it would have been one of the times when they played 2 years in a row. It was right after our fests. Actually, it was Deceased, Savage Master, and Lurking Corpses. They did like 2 years in a row. Maybe it was Deceased and one other changing band, but I think it was all three of the same bands actually. Just very very small club. It wasn't the Brass Rails in Indiana? I forget which club it was at, but it was in downtown Indiana, and a 4 hour drive for us. So me and Lindsay went both years, and just sitting there hanging out. You know, got there early type shit, and yeah, just he says funny shit. You know what I'm saying? So June 21st will fucking hopefully be another fucking one to add to the books, goddammit. And hopefully, yeah, like I said, I'll get something on recording. If he starts talking and have a conversation and funny shit, and I might even just say, if it's nothing to post or you can't hear the audio, I'll just discard it. Maybe before I even just go up and say hi, I'll tell Lindsay, hey, just there's King over there. We'll go say hi, and then whatever the conversation goes, just start recording now. Whatever we get, we get. If it's total crap, we'll just discard it. But if it's good, at least we have it. Because you know how that goes. You know what I mean? Sometimes, like for example, actually, Mike Hamilton came down to the HHB shop, the HHR shop, whatever people like to call it. I always go to the HHB shop, like, and he came down and hanging out and talking. It's first time I have met Mike back in when he first joined Deeds. I told him that story. He didn't remember. I was like, I mean, I'm sure he wouldn't. I was like 16 or so. And but anyways, we were kind of shooting the shit, and Lindsay's like, "Fuck, should have got that fucking recorded." I'm like, "Yeah, exactly," because it was a really cool conversation. We were talking about Deeds of Flesh, talking about the vinyls, talking about Unique Leader, a bunch of other stuff, and so it was a really cool conversation that would have been cool for the fucking channel. But it's always like that when you're not fucking prepared or thinking of it. I knew he was coming down because he's friends with Tommy over at Redefining Darkness, and Tommy brought him down. I just figured it's gonna be like, hey, what's up, bro? Maybe I'll look around and that's it. Like, because I figured because he's like, he doesn't really know me. What's he gonna say? You know what I mean? And I was like, I don't really have any. So I don't really have many questions for him for the most part, other than kind of asking about the Deeds LPs, which I already got the reply from Jacoby. So I didn't think there was gonna be much said, but there was a lot said. So yeah, kind of wish I would have got recorded. Would have been cool to have on video. A lot of comments on here, but here's a pretty decent one from Ben NG. Ever meet any cult fellows in reputable black metal bands that maintain their elitist attitude face to face? No, I don't think so. Yeah, no, that's never what you. I mean, like, I guess the only thing is like, what would you expect them to be like? Like, are they supposed to just stand there with their arms crossed and give one word answers and not smile at all? If that's what you're expecting, yeah, I never had that. But like for example, when I met Lori from Satanic War Master, he wasn't like that. He was just friendly, but he wasn't like some goofball clown that you wouldn't like. You're like, whoa, I wasn't expecting. Like, for example, if his personality would have been kind of like King Folly, I would have been, it'd be cool. I just would have been surprised. Oh, I wasn't expecting that. So he wasn't like not what I wasn't expecting either. It was kind of like, oh, he's a normal dude, seems kind of friendly, Finnish accent, but just a regular down to earth guy. You know what I mean? So it kind of like I wasn't like, yeah, they're kind of like, what are you expecting though for those? So it depends, I guess, how you're looking at that. But as far as like I said, if you're like not to crack a smile, fucking arms folded and one word answers, yeah, I don't think I met anyone like that from any bands, from not even just black metal, but staying on that the Vault stuff. The only thing kind of close to that would mean maybe my early years meeting some black metal bands. They didn't say much but I think it was a foreign band that didn't speak much English. So that'd probably be the closest thing, but that's kind of like, well, it's because he didn't really know the language. What the fuck was he going to say to a total stranger, right? Kind of go up to him, okay, can you sign my shit? And that's about it. You know what I mean? Like, I think he was just quiet in general. I remember what I always said when I met Hellhammer from Mayhem when I was like 14, 15, and I got my picture with him and shit, and he didn't have much to say. But actually, Athnar just met him recently too. They played with them over, I forget what they played with, but it was Mayhem with Midnight. And he said all of them he was the most quiet. Like, he wasn't a dick or anything. He just had the least to say. As opposed to Necro Butcher and shit, I guess, were super talkative. So yeah, no, not what you would think. Like what you have in mind and what they act like on the albums or what they're portrayed. Never met them holding it down in person. No, not yet. Anyways, never know though, right? First time for everything. Suppo Def, have you ever mastered a show, or what bands have you seen that make you get groovin'? No offense, but you give off the vibe that when some sick ass riffs are playing, you'll cross your arms, stand and say, "Oh, they're my favorite band ever." Love the videos, as always, jdog. Yeah, you pretty much hit the nail on the head. I do just stand there pretty with my arms crossed these days because it's kind of like, I don't know, why don't we comfortable? What the fuck am I supposed to do? You know what I mean? And dude, I'm fucking just old, and I mean, I'm not getting mosh pit now. Fuck that. Me personally too, as you guys, the ones that follow and should know, is I'm really into fucking bodybuilding and working out and shit like that. So if you get hurt, you're fucked. You can't go to the gym and train. And now I'm just gonna be fucking depressed and all fucked up. So like, if you twist something the wrong way, plus I mean, something may not know, like there is genetic freaks and shit like that but I don't know how the fuck they do it. There's guys that like Flex Wheeler and Ronnie Coleman at the time, they could do the full splits and shit. So there's outliers. So we're like, oh, that's bullshit. We're going to say JDL. So generally speaking, the more muscle you have, your flexibility goes to the shitter. So it's easy to tear something real easy. So it's kind of like, it's not what you guys fucking think. Like when you really, oh, you're this fucking like, you're not as athletic and maneuverable as you think when you're doing like bodybuilding style training. People are like, oh, what about wrestlers and shit? 'Cause they don't train like bodybuilders. They're not doing like all these isolation movements and some types of machines and shit like that. It's not. It's totally fucking different. And they're working on a ton of mobility shit because otherwise they will. Because anyways, what I'm getting at, the wrong turn or something slip, I could tear my quad, I could tear my bicep. If I fall on concrete, I could tear my tricep easily. So yeah, fuck that. That's not worth it whatsoever. I'm not gonna take that fucking chance. Just like when I was out in Phoenix, Arizona and shit, like my sister-in-law and her boyfriend and shit like that. Hey, you want to ride one of the horses and shit? Like my wife did. I'm like, I kind of don't want to. I was like, if I fall off this thing, I'm fucked. You know what I mean? At 240 pounds hitting the ground, that's gonna hurt like a fucking bitch. I'm either gonna break a rib, break an arm, or yeah, I'm gonna tear something. So, but in my earlier days, like you said, so that is why. Yeah, I guess I do just stand there with the arms crossed, pretty much. But that's kind of the reason for it now. And honestly, man, like I said, I'm just old and tired for the most part. By the time I am show, I do enjoy going to shows, but by the time I get there, I'm in bed early, guys. I'm in bed between like 9 and 10 o'clock at night every night, sometimes even earlier, to be honest with you. So shows are always later. I'm always just tired, you know what I mean? So I'm just kind of like at my energy levels, I'm done for the fucking day, you know what I mean? So, but in my earlier days, yeah, when I was a kid, I have gone, just for fun, and it was fun, you know what I mean? But I remember the first time I saw Mortician, fucking got my nose bashed and there's fucking blood all over my goddamn House by the Cemetery shirt. That's what I was wearing at the show. Um, Definitely went in for some like cannibal shows. I've seen 6 Feet Under, a bunch of shows. Yeah, a bunch. But I was by age 17 at the latest. I pretty much stopped. Um, I don't even know why. I just kind of just became less and less interested. Kind of like, I did it. It was fun. Um, maybe just afraid of getting hurt, I guess. And especially then, I was so small back then. I was literally 125 pounds in high school. So it was I was a small guy. I was kind of maybe afraid of getting hurt. Just like this is worth it if I break my arm or something. Yeah, kind of a lame answer, but it's what the fuck I got for you, goddammit. Vesuvia Course Flower J-Dog. Are you familiar with the necrosexual? The dude does some hilarious interviews with many underground metal legends. I've never even heard of him. No, I don't know him. He's basically saying he's reminiscent of Bill Zebub from the Grimoire Exalted Deeds. I do know who that is. I've kind of met him. He'd always be at the Cinema Wasteland. It's kind of like out of all the magazines back in the day, that was the magazine I liked the most. You got fucking free hot naked chicks plus some interviews, and he'd ask questions that nobody else would. So I kind of did like his. But I know people that know him, and I've heard stories, and I don't think he comes off as a bad guy or anything, but I kind of like, oh, I got the impression of what type of person he is. I'm like, probably would I just probably not somebody I want to hang out with. That's not me talking shit. I just don't think we would jive. That's all. He'd probably think the same about me. Look at this motherfucker to show cross his arms. Boring ass motherfucking old man. Ricky Jones. J-Dog, what's the future of metal? I think the future's now for everything, man. The future's here. Because I'm honestly, how many fucking more years this shit ass fucking planet even gonna survive? You know what I mean? Whether it be from pollution or just us killing ourselves, etc. Everything's been done. It's gonna be a bunch of fucking robots running the earth like Terminator 2, right? So, not saying that I think things are gonna come to an end in 10 years or even not my lifetime. I think I'll die of whatever natural causes or get hit by a car or something like that. You know what I mean? But not in the time I'm on this planet. But I mean, honestly, I'd be shocked if there's a crystal ball. I don't think this planet will be around another 1,000 years. Who the fuck am I? I'm no scientist. Nothing's gonna take that as great. You're stupid, J-Dog. Just my opinion. I could be completely wrong. I could be around for another 10 fucking million for all I fucking know. Just my personal guess. I don't think this planet will be around for another 1,000 years. So with that being said, just metal going with the flow like everything else. The future's now. There's gonna be just more bands that you'll get some guys that write some really really good songs. I want to pick this up because the songs are so catchy and memorable and jamming, but it'll be nothing new. And then it'll be the same old rehash bullshit again, like exactly what's been going on for the last. Honestly, it's been going on for sure for the last well over 10 years. Everything's just rehashed and shit. I mean, it just is. I remember like Jim and Don and stuff were always saying that back when I was first getting out. It's the same old, like kind of like when bands like Devourment and Aborted and Deeds of Flesh and shit would come back. It's funny, you listen back, I'm like, no, it's not. Like, put Devourment next to, like, say, Suffocation or whatever, because that'd be that fan base. They don't sound anything alike. You know what I mean? Not at all. And then put, like, the first two Aborted albums in there, which are fucking great. I mean, you could get a Q-tip, man. Don't sound anything like. Man, maybe you don't like them. That's cool, and you're not a fan of that. But sound alike. What the fuck are you talking about? But it definitely. There's no doubt. And I have questioned myself. I was like, is it old man J-Dog that he's pulling like a Jim Don, a King Folly? Those guys. You're like, the later shit sucks, stuff like that. I admit there's that possibility, but I'll listen to stuff close. I'm like, I'm sorry, I've heard this a million times. I'm not just pulling that on some of these. It's just literally the same goddamn thing again. So it's definitely going on now for sure. At least 2010 up for sure. I won't even go. I want to go as far as even saying kind of it was starting to hit around 2005. So I'm trying to think of bands that I heard that were coming around that time that were kind of new. Like for example, like Toxic Holocaust. Somebody said Evil Owner Dies 2003, so 20 years ago. Yeah, it wasn't new, but at the same time, it was new because who the fuck prior to the 80s and shit was kind of sound like that? Nobody's even doing thrash. So it kind of was something new that hasn't been heard for years and years. So there was new, refreshing shit coming out. Then you had bands like Devilry Rot and stuff around that time putting stuff out. It was like fucking heavy metal with black metal vocals. Who the fuck was doing that? I mean, I'm sure somebody's throw somebody out I haven't heard of. I'm not saying they're the only one, goddamn ones. Not saying that, but I'm just saying there was kind of fresh shit coming out then. You know what I mean? That wasn't the same old, same old. And there is now too. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying there's nobody, but it's less and less, and just the same old rehash shit. And again, some of the same old rehash shit I think is fucking great. Oh, it's by the way, like I was saying, somebody asked, it is. Like for example, I thought this album was fucking great. I think this is the latest and the greatest by Flesh Crawl. Into the Catacombs of Flesh. And just sounds, Flesh Crawl from Germany. I've been a fan of them since I was like 16 or whatever. That's either their last album or their second to last album. Anyways, it came in through Hell's and I picked up. I was like, this album is fucking great. It's nothing original whatsoever, just Swedish death metal. That's all it sounds like. Swedish death metal from Germany, goddammit. It's like, literally their attitude is if it ain't broke, don't fucking fix it. Nothing fancy. Sounds like, yeah, Entomb, Dismember, and a bunch of million other fucking bands. But the songs were great. I was like, I'm thoroughly entertained on the very first listen. Can already understand some of the words and kind of sing along to some of the choruses. Really catchy breakdown parts. I was like, this is fucking awesome. I was thoroughly entertained. As opposed to, you can put on the exact same style of fucking shit. I'm like, I'm bored. I'm flat out bored. Where's the riffs? Where's the punches? Where's the hooks? Where's the choruses? Where's it at? Where's the super killer fucking solos? I'm just like fucking bored. You know what I mean? So there's that. That's what I think the future is. We're in the fucking future with everything, not just metal. And, it's going to be the same old for the most part. One or two here and there, brand new, like, oh shit, never heard this before, kind of like style. And then bands doing same old, but with really killer fucking, holy shit, this song is super catchy and awesome, right? That's where I think fucking metal's going in the future. We're already there, goddammit. It's just going to continue for, I don't know, assuming at least for the rest of my lifetime. So, that's it for this one, Devils. Comments, questions, concerns, you know what the fuck to do. Leave them in the goddamn comments box, and I'll get them answered bright and early. Later, goddammit.